Welcome to Who's Wrong. If you're into messy stories, blurred morals, and moments that make you stop and ask, wait, who's actually wrong here? You're in the right place. Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next story. Now let's get into it. Am I the jerk for telling my step-siblings about our dads before he could change it? Okay, so this just happened, and I don't even know where to begin. My dad, Mark, he's 72. He's been sick for a while, a really aggressive cancer. He's been on and off conscious for the past week. It's been a lot. My stepmom, Carol, she's been a whirlwind of emotion, as expected, but also suspiciously focused on certain things. My dad had a will drafted years ago, like way before he even met Carol. It left everything to me and my two half-siblings, Sarah and Michael. Sarah and Michael are my mom's kids, but my dad adopted them when they were little. So legally, they're just as much his as I am. This was a point of pride for him. Family is everything, he always said. Carol came into the picture about 15 years ago. She has two kids of her own, a son, David, and a daughter, Emily. They're both in their late 20s, early 30s. Never really got along with them, to be honest. They always felt entitled, like they deserved a piece of my dad's success, even though they contributed nothing. My dad was always generous with them, paid for their college, helped with down payments, but they definitely saw him as an ATM. Anyway, about 3 days ago, I was at the hospital. Carol was rambling, talking to herself almost, but I heard her say something about making sure Mark's affairs are in order and updating the will. My blood ran cold. My dad, in his current state, couldn't make sound decisions. He was barely lucid. The lawyer, a family friend who drafted the original will, called me later that evening. He sounded really uncomfortable. He said Carol had called him, asking to come to the hospital to finalize some changes to Mark's will. She explicitly mentioned adding David and Emily as beneficiaries and significantly reducing our shares. The lawyer, Mr. Henderson, knows our family dynamic well. He knew this wasn't what my dad would have truly wanted, not like this, not in his final moments. He implied that if a new will was signed under those circumstances, it'd be easily contested, but still. The thought of her even trying. I called Sarah and Michael immediately. I was shaking. I told them everything. About Carol's weird behavior, about the lawyer's call. I told them that as far as I knew, the current will left everything to us, 1/3 each, and that Carol was trying to change it, right now, while Dad was practically in a coma. They were stunned. Michael was furious. Sarah was heartbroken. We made a pact. We wouldn't let her do this. We decided that if she pushed, we would make it clear that any new will signed under duress would be immediately challenged. We talked about how Dad would want us to protect his legacy, his true intentions. The next morning, Carol actually brought a lawyer to the hospital. Not Mr. Henderson, but some slick, corporate-looking guy. My dad was barely awake, eyes fluttering. Carol was trying to get him to sign some papers, she said, just routine. But I saw her glance at the lawyer, a subtle nod. Before she could get the pen in his hand, Michael stepped forward. He said, very calmly but with an edge, "Carol, we know what you're trying to do. Dad's will is already in place, and we will fight any changes made while he's not of sound mind." Sarah chimed in. Dad always told us his wishes. This isn't fair to him or to us. Carol's face just crumbled. Pure fury, then disbelief. She said, "You three are ganging up on me. How dare you? Mark would be ashamed." She tried to argue, but the lawyer she brought actually looked uncomfortable and started packing up his briefcase. My dad, in a strained whisper, managed to say, "No, changes." It was so faint, but we all heard it. Carol turned on him. "Mark, what are you saying?" But he drifted off again. The lawyer she brought left shortly after. Carol hasn't spoken to us since, just glares. Now my dad is still with us, but fading fast. And Carol is completely iced out. My siblings and I are united. She thinks we're monsters for ruining her plan. But I feel like I just protected my dad and his real wishes. Was this a selfless act or emotional manipulation? So what do you think? Did I do the right thing by telling my step-siblings and intervening, or did I overstep and cause unnecessary family drama in my dad's final days? Let's take a look at what some of the top comments said. Commenter 1 said, "No way op, you did the right thing. Families betray each other more by doing nothing." Commenter 2 said, "Honestly kinda controlling. You took that choice from everyone else." Commenter 3 said, "I think I'd want someone like you in my corner, but I'm scared by your silence too. Am I wrong for telling my best friend her fiancé cheated days before the wedding? Okay, so I don't even know where to start with this one. My best friend, Chloe, is getting married in 3 days. 3 days. And I just blew up her entire world. Did I do the right thing? I honestly have no idea. My stomach is in knots. Chloe and Mark have been together for 5 years. Engaged for one. I've known Chloe since kindergarten. She's like a sister to me. She deserves the world. Mark, he's always been a bit of a question mark for me. Smooth talker, good looking, but something about him always felt a little off. Chloe adored him though. She saw him as her fairy tale. Last night was a bachelorette party. It was a disaster, but not in the way you'd expect. We were out at a club. Chloe was having a blast, super happy. I was keeping an eye on things, making sure she was safe and not overdoing it. A few hours in, I went to the restroom. On my way back, I saw Mark. Yes, Mark, Chloe's fiancé, at the same club. My heart just dropped. He said he was going to be home, finishing some last-minute wedding stuff. He was definitely not alone. He was with a woman, and they weren't just talking. He had his arm around her, laughing too close in a way that screamed more than friends. My gut clenched. I immediately pulled out my phone, tried to be subtle, and snapped a picture. It wasn't the clearest, but it was enough. Mark with an unknown woman looking cozy. Could have been innocent maybe, but my gut said no. I debated for like an hour. Do I tell her? Now, 3 days before the wedding, she's invested so much. Emotionally, financially. Her whole family is flying in. Her dress is perfect. All the details. It was all for this. The fairy tale. But then I thought, if it were me, I'd want to know. I'd be devastated, sure, but I'd want the truth. My friendship with Chloe means everything. Could I stand there, silent, watching her walk down the aisle to a guy who might be cheating on her? Could I live with that secret? So I waited until we got back to her place. Everyone else had gone home. It was just us. Chloe was still buzzing, talking about how excited she was. I took a deep breath. My hands were shaking. I said, "Chloe, I need to show you something." My voice was barely a whisper. She looked at me, confused, then concerned. I showed her the picture. She stared at it. Her face went from excitement to confusion, then a slow, dawning horror. She didn't say anything for a long time, just stared. My heart was pounding. Then she looked up at me. Her eyes were wide, wet with tears she hadn't shed yet. "Who is that?" she choked out. I told her I didn't know. I told her I saw him at the club, that he was too close to this woman. I told her he said he was home, working on wedding stuff. Suddenly, all the air went out of her. She started to sob. Full, racking sobs. She called Mark. He didn't answer. She called him again. Voicemail. She left a message, something like, "Where are you? What is going on?" Her voice cracking. Then she just collapsed onto the floor, crying uncontrollably. I sat with her for hours. She was a wreck. She kept asking, "Why? Why now? Why 3 days before?" She said she hated me for ruining everything. Then she hugged me and said she hated herself for not seeing it. It was a roller coaster of emotions. She's called off the wedding. Her parents are on their way over. Her maid of honor is furiously calling guests. It's chaos. Absolute, utter chaos. Her dream is shattered. And I'm sitting here wondering, did I do the right thing? Or did I just cause irreparable damage and heartbreak right before what was supposed to be the happiest day of her life? Was this justice or sabotage? So what do you think? Should I have kept quiet and let her find out later, or was telling her essential even if it destroyed everything? Let's take a look at what some of the top comments said. Commenter 1 said, "This is giving you wanted her for yourself energy." Commenter 2 said, "Nah, she deserved to know. I just do like why you told her." Commenter 3 said, Honestly, I'd rather know before the vows. Painful but clean. Am I the jerk for telling my sister not to name her baby after my abusive ex-husband? All right, I'm still buzzing from this conversation, and not in a good way. My sister, Clara, is pregnant. This is her second child, a girl. And she just dropped a bombshell on me that I absolutely did not handle well, according to her. She called me a few days ago, all excited. You know, like new mom energy. Guess what, she started. We picked a name for the baby. I was genuinely happy for her. Oh, that's great. What is it? And then she said it. We're going to name her Ethan. My blood ran cold. Ethan, my ex-husband's name, my abusive ex-husband. The one who put me through years of hell, left me with PTSD, and whom I still have nightmares about. The Ethan that our entire family, Clara included, watched slowly dismantle my life for years. I must have gone silent for too long because she said, "Hello, you still there?" I finally managed to choke out, "Ethan, seriously, after him." She sighed, a dramatic put-upon sigh. "Oh my God, are you serious right now? It's just a name. And it's a beautiful name. I like how it sounds. And it means strong and enduring." I just couldn't believe it. I felt this rush of anger mixed with pure, visceral disgust. "Clara, you cannot be serious. You know what he did to me. You saw it. You were there when I cried on your shoulder about it. You can't name your daughter after him." Her tone instantly hardened. "It's not after him. It's just a name I like. Why do you always have to make everything about you and your past trauma? Can't I just have a baby name I like without it triggering your entire life story?" That's when I lost it a little. Not yelling, but my voice was sharp, cutting. Because that name is tainted for me. Every single time I hear it, I will think of him. I will think of the pain, the fear, the abuse. Do you want your niece growing up with that baggage? Do you want to constantly remind me of the worst period of my life every time I see her? I paused, catching my breath. It's disrespectful, to me, to what I went through. She started to cry, but I love the name. And it's not fair that your past dictates my choices for my child. You're being selfish. Selfish, I sat there, stunned. Was I? All I could think about was hearing that name, over and over, attached to an innocent child. It would be a constant trigger. My own sister doing this to me. I told her flat out, "If you name her Ethan, I legitimately don't know if I can be around her." It was a threat, a desperate, raw threat born out of pain. I immediately regretted how harsh it sounded, but in the moment, it felt like my only option. She hung up on me. My phone's been silent ever since. My mom called me an hour later, crying, saying Clara told her I was ruining her pregnancy joy and being unsupportive. Mom thinks I was too harsh, that maybe I should just deal with it for Clara's sake. But how can I? How can I just deal with that name? It's not just a name to me. It's a symbol of unspeakable pain. Was I protecting my niece or just my trauma? So what do you think? Was I in the wrong for telling my sister not to use the name, or is it understandable given my history? Let's take a look at what some of the top comments said. Commenter 1 said, "Naming a baby after someone who hurt you? Huge no." Commenter 2 said, "But people change. Maybe she deserved to be remembered differently." Commenter 3 said, "Snap reaction was harsh, but maybe it was the only honest one." Am I wrong for letting my husband believe our son is his, even though I suspect he's not? Here, what happened, and I fully expect a lot of judgment for this. I'm a mess. My husband, Dave, and I have been married for 10 years. We have a son, Leo, who is 8. Dave absolutely adores Leo. He's a fantastic dad, truly. Leo is the light of his life. The problem, I'm not sure Leo is Dave's biological son, and Dave has no idea. 8 years ago, before Leo was born, Dave and I were going through a really rough patch. We were fighting constantly. He was working crazy hours. I felt neglected, and honestly, we were close to splitting up. During that time, I made a huge mistake. A one-night stand with an old friend from college, Mark, who was in town for a few days. It was stupid, reckless, and I regretted it the moment it happened. A few weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. My heart sank. I knew deep down there was a chance it wasn't Dave's. The timelines were just close. But Dave was so thrilled, so incredibly happy. He immediately stopped fighting, started putting more effort into our relationship. The pregnancy brought us back together. Leo saved our marriage in a way. I pushed away the doubt. I told myself it was Dave's. It had to be. I buried that secret so deep, I almost convinced myself it never happened. But as Leo grew, things started to become a little more obvious. He doesn't really look like Dave. He has fair hair and blue eyes like Mark. Dave has dark hair and brown eyes. I know, genetics are weird and dominant recessive genes, but it just nagged at me. And Leo is really, really good at drawing and art, like Mark was. Dave is more analytical, numbers-oriented. Again, could be coincidence. Recently, my old college friend Mark surfaced on social media. He's an artist, quite successful now. He lives in another country. I looked at his profile, saw pictures of him, and then I looked at Leo. The resemblance was striking. Not just hair and eye color, but the shape of his nose, the way he smiles. It's chilling. A few weeks ago, Leo needed blood work for a minor medical issue. Nothing serious, just routine. I saw the blood type on the report. O negative. Dave is O positive. I am a positive. It registered in my brain, but I sort of filed it away. Then, last night, I was spiraling. I started Googling blood type inheritance, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. If I'm A+ and Dave is O+, there's no way Leo would be O with them as parents. My old friend Mark, I vaguely remember him being O negative. He was a universal donor. I mean, my memory isn't perfect, but it's a strong recollection. This doesn't confirm anything 100%. Blood types can be tricky, but it makes my stomach drop. All the signs, all the coincidences suddenly align. I could get a DNA test. I could find out for sure. But what then? If Leo isn't Dave's, I would shatter Dave's world. I would destroy our family. Leo loves Dave so much. Dave would be utterly heartbroken. He's such a devoted father. I'm terrified of losing everything, so I've kept quiet. I haven't mentioned a word. I just watch Dave and Leo together and my heart breaks a little. He tells Leo, "You're just like me, son," and Leo beams. Does honesty always start with a confession, or should some truths stay buried? So what do you think? Am I wrong for keeping this secret, potentially for good, to protect my family? Let's take a look at what some of the top comments said. Commenter 1 said, "I get wanting peace of mind, but this feels like betrayal, TBH. Commenter 2 said, "What if the lab didn't mess up? You really ready for that?" Commenter 3 said, "Honestly, I feel more sorry for the kid than either parent. Am I the jerk for lying about getting her a ring so I wouldn't have to propose? All right, so I just messed up big time." And I mean really, monumentally, embarrassingly messed up. My long-term girlfriend, Sarah, of 7 years, just found out I've been lying to her about a proposal. And now she's gone. I don't even know what to do. Sarah and I have been together since college. She's an amazing woman. Smart, funny, beautiful. I love her, truly. But the whole marriage thing, it just never felt right for me. I'm comfortable with our life as it is. We live together, split bills, go on vacations. It feels married, without the ring and the ceremony and the legal stuff. The pressure started increasing from her side a couple of years ago. Every family event, every friend's wedding, every Christmas, it was, "When are you going to propose to Sarah?" Or, "Are you two ever going to tie the knot?" Sarah would usually just smile, a little sadly. But then she started asking me directly, "Are we ever going to get married, Mark?" I kept deflecting. "Of course, someday," I'd say. "I just want it to be perfect." Or, "I need to save up for the right ring." These were all excuses. I had money saved. I just didn't want to propose. Then about 6 months ago, I was really cornered. Her sister got engaged. Sarah was over the moon for her, but then came home, silent and teary-eyed. She looked at me and said, "Mark, I need to know, are we ever going to get married? Because if not, I can't keep doing this." I panicked. I literally panicked. I saw the look in her eyes, the ultimatum. I knew if I said no, it was over. And the thought of Sarah not being in my life was truly terrifying, so I lied. "Of course, Sarah," I said, putting on my most reassuring voice. "I've even started putting money aside for your ring. I'm looking at designs. I want it to be special." The relief on her face was immediate. She brightened up, hugged me tight. "Really? Oh, Mark, that's wonderful." She started talking about what kind of ring she might like, showing me pictures from Pinterest. And I just kept digging the hole deeper. I tell her things like, "The jeweler said it would take a few weeks for this custom design." Or, "I'm waiting for the right moment, something romantic." She would look at me with such trust and happiness, and I felt like a total garbage human. But I couldn't stop. The lie had taken on a life of its own. Yesterday was her birthday. She'd hinted pretty strongly that she thought I might propose. It was built up in her mind. I saw it. I had bought her a beautiful necklace instead. A very nice, expensive necklace. I thought that would suffice. We went to dinner. She was glowing, expectant. As she unwrapped the necklace, her smile faltered. I saw the disappointment. She tried to hide it, but it was there. She thanked me, but the sparkle was gone. Then something even worse happened. My friend, Tom, who I confide in about everything, came over after dinner for a drink. He didn't know about my elaborate lie. He only knew I was dragging my feet. Mid-conversation, completely out of the blue, Tom goes, "So, you gonna propose to Sarah soon, or what? Everyone's waiting. You got the ring yet?" The silence dropped like a bomb. Sarah froze. Her head slowly turned to me. Her eyes were wide, then narrowed. She knew, she saw it all. My face must have been pale. I stammered, "Tom, what are you talking about?" But it was too late. The jig was up. Sarah just stood up, calmly, dangerously calm. "So, you don't have a ring, do you, Mark?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "You never did you? You just lied to me for 6 months." All this talk about custom designs and waiting for the perfect moment, it was all fake. I tried to explain, tried to say it wasn't that simple, that I love her, but the words just died in my throat. She picked up her keys, grabbed a small bag, and left the apartment. She's staying with her sister. She won't answer my calls or texts. She said she needs time, that she can't believe I would be so cruel. Is this lie about love or control? So what do you think? Was I a complete jerk for lying to her for so long to avoid a proposal, or is her reaction over the top? Let's take a look at what some of the top comments said. Commenter 1 said, "Dude, you dug a hole 20 feet deep and handed her the shovel." Commenter 2 said, "If you didn't want to propose, just say it. Come on." Commenter 3 said, "This went from relatable to toxic so fast." Am I wrong for telling my sister's ex-husband she still loves him at her birthday party? Okay, I know this sounds nuclear, but hear me out. My sister, Rachel, just turned 40. We threw her a big surprise party at a restaurant. It was supposed to be a happy night. It ended in total chaos, and now she's not speaking to me. Rachel has been divorced for 2 years from David. They were together for 15 years, married for 10. They have 2 kids together. The divorce was messy, really messy. David had an affair with a colleague. Rachel found out and kicked him out. There was a lot of pain, a lot of anger, but here's the thing. Rachel never really got over David. She acts like she has. She dates occasionally, but nothing serious. She talks about how much she hates him, how awful he was, but I see her. I see the little things. She still uses his favorite coffee mugs. She kept all their old photos in her living room, just tucked behind larger frames. She never really dated anyone who remotely measured up to him. Every time David came to pick up the kids, she'd put on makeup and a nice outfit. She'd casual it off, but I saw it. She was still in love with him, pining for him, even after everything. He's moved on. David is engaged to the woman he cheated with, Sarah. They're getting married in a couple of months. Rachel knows this. It's been eating at her. She's been in a foul mood for weeks. She talks about how she regrets divorcing him sometimes, even though she says she had no choice. The kids want them to get back together. It's a whole thing. So the surprise party, everyone was there. Family, friends, even David was there because of the kids. He brought Sarah. Rachel got progressively drunker throughout the night. Happy at first, laughing, but then her mood started to dip. Every time she saw David and Sarah having a quiet conversation, or him holding her hand under the table, Rachel would glare, then take another gulp of wine. I watched her. I saw the heartbreak in her eyes. And I got this idea, this really stupid, probably awful idea, that maybe I needed to do something drastic. I thought maybe if David knew how she truly felt, how much she was still hurting, and how much she still loved him, he might reconsider. Or at least understand her pain better. I thought maybe I could force some kind of breakthrough, some honesty. So, during the speeches, after everyone had said their piece, I grabbed the mic. I was a little drunk myself, fueled by sisterly loyalty and a misguided sense of romantic, dramatic intervention. I started talking about Rachel, about how amazing she was, and then I looked straight at David. "David," I said, my voice echoing a little too loudly in the restaurant. "You know, Rachel might act tough. She might say she hates you. She might push you away." Rachel was looking at me, confused, then with dawning horror. "But the truth is," I continued, gesturing wildly, "she never stopped loving you. Not for a single day since you left her. She still loves you, David. She always has." The room went silent. You could hear a pin drop. Rachel's face turned scarlet, then white. David just stared at me, his jaw slack, Sarah next to him looking absolutely furious. I tried to keep going, something about how true love transcends everything. But a few people started mumbling, looking uncomfortable. Rachel finally snapped. She lunged for the microphone, ripped it out of my hand, and screamed, "What the hell are you doing? Are you insane?" She then screamed at David to get out, screamed at Sarah to get out, and then she just ran out of the restaurant, crying. The party broke up in total disarray. David and Sarah left, Sarah looking venomous. My family is livid with me. They say I humiliated Rachel, ruined her birthday, and interfered in things that were none of my business. I thought I was helping her. I thought I was giving her a voice, forcing the truth into the open. But now she won't talk to me. She told our mom she never wants to see me again. Was it a necessary truth or emotional revenge? So what do you think? Was I completely out of line for saying what I did at her birthday party, or was I revealing a truth that needed to be said? Let's take a look at what some of the top comments said. Commenter 1 said, "I mean, if she's still in love, he deserves to know." Commenter 2 said, "But wow, in public, on her birthday, savage." Commenter 3 said, "You didn't just drop a bomb, you took photos of the crater." Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video from us. We'll see you in the next one.